Disclaimer. I doesn't claim any of the arts. All the picture shown belongs to the respective artist and company. If you are original owner and want me to remove the video, I will do it immediately. Just send me an email to inform me. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Chapter begins, and we see that due to the heavy blow inflicted by Kim, Nakata is unconscious in a corner. Yoshikawa, with a sick face, and while his whole body is shaking, answers Kim's question by saying, "What I saw in the mental world was something that looked exactly like you. But it wasn't human, nor a monster. It was an unknown being." Upon hearing Yoshikawa's words, Kim thinks to himself, "As I thought, it's the one from my dream. I still lack information, but it's definitely not just a simple dream. And to think it's a nightmare? Even though I didn't use Devour, I can feel the power of Devour within Surara's body. Was this the cause?" With that, Kim approaches Yoshikawa while holding out his hand and activates predation, using it on Yoshikawa. He tries to remove the remaining powers of predation within her and says to her, "I removed the remaining power. You probably won't have nightmares anymore." Upon hearing Kim's words, Yoshikawa gets confused and surprised and says to Kim, "Huh? Why? Are you helping me? I attacked you." But Kim replies, "I'm not helping you. It's to stop the dungeon break." Suddenly, a strong earthquake occurs, shaking the entire area and building, shocking both Kim and Yoshikawa. Yoshikawa wonders what an earthquake is happening all of a sudden, and Kim points out that it has started. He tells Yoshikawa urgently, "Surara, it's a dungeon break. Wake Nakata Shinji first." But suddenly a person arrives with his men and says, "Where do you think you're going after attacking our association's player, huh?" South Korea's national level player, Kim Tae-hyun. That man is the head of Japan's player association and former national level player. His name is Matsuda Kuro. In his prime, he was a national level player who defeated monsters. After retiring, he discovered talents like the Saintess and the Ghost Sword. He's called one of the best heads of Japan's player association in history. However, in reality, he's someone who doesn't care about civilian casualties if it benefits him. With that, Kim responds to him, "Are you aware that a dungeon break just occurred? I came to help." But Matsuda rejects Kim's offer of help and says, I already know about that. The alarms have been ringing since earlier. But what does that have to do with you? Your right to clear the unchallenged dungeon is only valid while it's intact. Once it breaks, it's meaningless. On top of that, you embarrassed us during the friendly match. If you solve this dungeon break as well, what will happen to my standing? So you'll have to be detained for a while for the crime of ambushing our association's players." With that, Matsuda sends his men to arrest Kim. Seeing this, Yoshikawa tries to prevent this and calm the situation by saying, "Chairman, but to minimize the damage from the dungeon break." Upon hearing Yoshikawa's words, Matsuda shouts at her, "You stay out of this! Yoshikawa Tsurara, don't forget that I have condoned your use of skills to manipulate people. If you side with that inexperienced brat here, both you and the Demon Blade will be finished. Take Kim Tae-hyun away." As Matsuda's men approach Kim nervously to arrest him, he smiles and submits according to the order of arrest by putting his hands forward to be handcuffed. With that, Kim thinks to himself, "But if I resist without an investigation, Chairman Ji Jinhee will only be put in a tough spot." As Matsuda's men take Kim away, Yoshikawa forcibly stands up and asks Kim why he let them capture him so easily, to which Kim replies, "I have no choice. Tsurara, take Nakata Shinji and block it first." Seeing that Kim has given up, Matsuda laughs and says, "Ha ha ha, that's the right decision. Don't worry, if the investigation clears you, I'll release you right away." But Kim interrupts him by saying, "Don't be so overconfident, Chairman Matsuda. After all, it was you who rejected my help. If a problem arises because of this, that will also be your responsibility." Matsuda considers Kim's words nonsense and does not believe that Kim is needed to solve the problem of this dungeon break. The scene changes to the city center, where huge explosions are happening and buildings are being destroyed. Centaurs have started their movement and have come to the surface of the water city through the gate in the whirlpool, creating chaos and destruction in the city. The Japanese players stand in front of the centaurs with swords in hand and try to push them back. In the meantime, Kimura Ren is seen leading a group. He tells his men, "Stop it somehow! If this place is breached, everyone will die!" One of his men with a worried face says, "But even if you tell us to stop it, how are we supposed to stop that? They just keep pouring out, and all the monsters coming out are either A or S rank. It's all over now." However, Kimura Ren willfully urges them to continue fighting the centaurs and says, "But we still have to stop them. If we don't stop them, who will—" But suddenly, out of nowhere, Kentakinas grabs Kimura Ren with his hand and picks him up. All the players are in shock as they don't know what to do. As Kentakinas wants to eat Kimura Ren, he says, "Annoying, I'll devour you first." Kentakinas squeezes Kimura Ren tightly in his hand so that Kimura screams and coughs up blood while thinking to himself, "It's all over now, we're going to die, me too, everyone else too, it's over." Suddenly, while Kimura Ren is losing consciousness, Nakata arrives with maximum speed. With multiple slashes, he cuts Kentakinas' fingers and frees Kimura Ren from his grasp. As Kentakinas looks at his fingers in shock, he doesn't know what just happened. Even Kimura Ren and other players are in total disbelief as they don't know how Kimura Ren was saved. Nakata Shinji has determination in his eyes as he frees Kimura Ren from Kentakinas' hand. He is ready to end Kentakinas. Then we see all the players in that area getting healed. They feel their bodies getting better but don't know how this is happening. With that, Yoshikawa arrives and reveals that she was the one who healed their injuries. She is glad that everyone is safe now. Upon seeing Nakata Shinji and Yoshikawa together, players feel happy as their morale strengthens because now they have two national-level players by their side. Nakata Shinji wonders if Yoshikawa is okay. Yoshikawa responds by saying, "Yes, there's no need to worry. The strange power I felt inside my body is no longer there. While I can't use my full strength right now, Shinji, I can at least support you." With that, Nakata wonders to himself if Yoshikawa's recovery was due to Kim Tae-hyun's doing. But suddenly, Kentakinas interrupts their conversation by saying, "To think there would be prey of this quality. I've decided. You will be made into a meal for my son." With a smile on his face, he pulls out a giant red sword from the mouth on his stomach and prepares to fight Nakata and Yoshikawa. Seeing this, Yoshikawa warns Nakata to be careful fighting Kentakinas as Nakata activates his skill. As his sword glows, he strikes at Kentakinas. As their swords clash with each other, a huge beam of light erupts from their clash, showcasing the massive power exchanged in this confrontation. However, it seems that Nakata is struggling as Kentakinas overpowers him. Nakata finds himself in a tough spot. Seeing this situation unfold, Yoshikawa assembles other players and with a loud, clear voice says to them, "We'll handle Kentakinas. You take care of the rest of the monsters." One of the centaurs orders them to follow Kentakinas in defeating humans. Nakata hits Kentakinas with a slash of his sword, but only makes a small cut on Kentakinas' shoulder. On the other side, Kentakinas strikes Nakata with his giant sword, cutting into his left arm. Nakata thinks to himself, as expected from the master of the unchallenged dungeon SS rank monster Kentakinas. In my case, one mistake means losing my limbs while the wounds I leave on him are useless considering his regeneration. That's why all my past attempts to defeat him have failed. With that, Kentakinas raises his sword for a final attack at Nakata Shinji. With one swing of his sword, he makes such an attack that cuts through a building in half. But as dust clears from the attack, he widens his eyes in shock as he sees something unbelievable. Nakata Shinji is still alive and well. He can still fight as he regains his left arm again. Thank you for watching my video so far. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. As Nakata activates his power, covering himself with white aura, he says, "Now I can cut you down." With that, Nakata thinks to himself, 5 years since the failure to clear the last unchallenged dungeon. I've trained tirelessly just to defeat you, and now with the saint's power beside me. With Yoshikawa's healing buff on Nakata, we see through a notification that he is affected by the skill's super speed regeneration. His damaged body parts are restored, while Nakata is also affected by the skill Holy Revelation, enhancing all of his physical abilities. Then, Yoshikawa shouts at Nakata saying, "Shinji, I can't hold out for long, we have to finish this now!" Since Yoshikawa cannot hold Holy Revelation on Nakata any longer, he needs to strike at Kentakinus right now. With determination in his eyes as they glow, Nakata gathers himself, focusing on Kentakinus as he declares, "I can cut down anything." He jumps into the air using maximum power and speed, making multiple slashes on Kentakinus, cutting into his hand, eye, and leg, each slash causing terrible burning pain for Kentakinus as he screams in agony. Seeing that his attacks are effective, Nakata continues attacking until finally landing a clean hit with his sword, cutting Kentakinus in half from stomach downwards, separating his body from his legs completely. Everyone at Japan Player Association headquarters rejoices upon seeing that Nakata was able to deal a fatal blow to Kentakinus, calling out Nakata's name excitedly. Then we see Matsuda happy and excited about Nakata's victory in this battle. While laughing proudly, he says, "What did I say? I told you that the Demon Blade and the Saint could stop an SS rank dungeon break. We never needed your help from the start. Kim Taehyun." But as Kim remains calm and unfazed, despite being handcuffed, he says, "It's a relief we stopped Kentakinus, but why do you think this is the end? The gate break in South Korea a few months ago was upgraded from C rank to A rank. Last month, dungeon breaks in France and Russia were changed from S rank to S+. Traditional ways of measuring dungeon break ranks are no longer accurate, so why are you assuming this dungeon break is SS rank?" The scene changes back to Yoshikawa and Nakata, who are both shocked and stunned as something seems to be happening. As Nakata looks on with shocked eyes, he exclaims, "What is that? Again?" We then see something emerging from Kentakinus' belly. It appears to be some kind of monster baby with dark black eyes, and we realize this monster is the master of Japan's unchallenged dungeon named Kentamion, with an SS+ rank. And with that, this chapter ends. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Support this channel by liking this video and subscribing the channel. And if you want me to recap another manhwa or manga, write its name in the comments section. And if you want to know that what happened in previous chapters, you can watch them in this channel. Stay tuned for next chapters.